www.95195.com. It's one of Beijing's fastest growing dating companies.
I'm here with my mother to look for a wife.
On a recent Friday afternoon, 21-year-old Chung Ni-young left work early to visit the offices of 95195. Inside, wall-to-wall pictures of women also looking for a spouse.
I never considered doing it this way, but this is how many people nowadays are looking for a soulmate.
And after filling out a few personal details, getting his picture taken, and paying a small registration fee, his profile will soon hang on the walls among the hundreds of other men, hoping to catch the eye of some lucky lady.
We have a good success rate matching potential couples, but the truth is that it is very difficult for men to find a woman. The competition for spouses is tough.
And here's why. There are 122 baby boys born each year in China for every 100 girls. The normal ratio is 105 boys born for every 100 girls. And the gender ratio is only getting worse. Chinese government figures show by 2020, there will be close to 40 million more men 19 years and younger than women. That's more than Canada's entire population.
I worry about this, and so do many of my male friends who are in the same boat.
The problem started in 1980 when China launched its controversial one-child policy. The aim, you see, back then was to limit births to one child per couple and keep the country's population below 1.2 billion. The government claims the policy has prevented 400 million births.
But the consequences of this social experiment have touched every Chinese household.
The centuries-old preference for boys, coupled with the millions of aborted female fetuses, puts China at the top of countries where boys outnumber girls. Those fortunate enough to find love insist changes must be made.
If not, the long-term implications are going to be devastating.
Even the government is beginning to realize that this is a huge problem. In fact, a couple of years ago, China's State Population Commission said the following: the increasingly difficulties men face finding wives may lead to social instability.
In some parts of rural China, there are villages that literally have no women. Families become desperate, so thousands of women are kidnapped and trafficked into China each year, and many sold to families whose sons cannot find brides.
This is a very serious problem and one of many unintended consequences of the one-child policy.
And the latest census numbers reveal another unintended consequence: China's aging population. The over 60s make up just over 13% of the country. That's up nearly 3% from 2000. And those over 65 account for nearly 9% compared with 7% 10 years ago. Meanwhile, people under 14 are now less than 17% of the country. That's down from 23% a decade ago. Analysts worry a graying China could shrink the labor force and slow the nation's economic growth. Goldman Sachs says the potential for China getting older before getting rich is very real.
We're facing the problem of an aging population. It was more pronounced in coastal areas and in the more developed regions with large populations.
The census figures, growing gender imbalance, and bride shortages have some calling for China to move to a two-child policy.
People must have the opportunity to have more children if they choose to.
But China's leaders aren't convinced, vowing in late April to maintain the status quo. Back at 95195.com's office in Beijing, Chung Ni-young is still looking through the pictures. No one has caught his attention today, but he says he'll keep trying until he finds someone or someone finds him.
It might take a while, but I'm willing to wait.
George Thomas, CBN News, Beijing.